Are you a silver player? Are you struggling in the weekend league? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 mistakes silver players make in the weekend league, and that's coming up next in the FUT school. Hello my friends, if it is the first time you are here, welcome. My name is Don TV, and in today's video I'm going to show you 10 mistakes that silver players make in the weekend league. If you do like these type of videos, any type of videos that I put in regarding to help you become better at FIFA, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe, because I'm going to be bringing you a wide range of different ways that you can improve in FIFA, in all aspects of FIFA. And I hope the previous videos have helped you, have brought you some sort of fulfillment, encouraged you, empowered you in some sort of way. And if you want to keep in touch with everything that's going on, make sure you subscribe to this channel, put the bell on so you are the first. It's important that you put that bell on, because you become one of the first to actually receive the notification that my videos have gone live. So make sure you put on that bell, and I might be live streaming on Twitch. Come and check me out. The link to my Twitch is down below in the description. Come and check me out. I'd love to meet you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So as you can see, just behind me, I've put a nice little silver team together. It's just players that I've had in my club. I've just put it together, just you know, it's a theme. So it's actually a German silver team, because this video is actually been recorded in the midst of the Bundesliga tots that's out at the moment. So I put together a nice little German silver team. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm actually going to switch up the content just a little bit, and I'm going to show you some gameplay of the weekend league that just went. And it's a game where I'm assuming that I was playing against a silver player, because this person was making countless mistakes. And I'm going to share with you 10 mistakes that silver players make in the weekend league, and hoping that these mistakes, you can rectify them and push on beyond silver into the gold region. All right, so here we have just behind me, I'm going to let the game run in its entirety, no annotations or anything like that, so you can watch this gameplay. And obviously I'm going to share with you 10 mistakes that silver players make, not just relating to my opponent, but just in general, because not just to give you a quick background, obviously from my career in FUT Champions, I started off as a silver player, and over the years I've made the progression over into gold, stayed in the gold region, and now I'm pushing on to elite. So I have a lot of experience being a silver player, I have a lot of experience being a gold player, and I've got a lot of experience being an elite player. And then hopefully in the near future I can push on to finish off higher in Elite 1 or top 100, God willing. So in this game, obviously it's my FUT Champions game, and this is my first 10 games on this day when this recording took place, and this was actually my second opponent. So my first tip in regards to the first mistake that silver players make is that they lack creativity. They're too predictable in the final third. And as I was watching my opponent play, it becomes too easy to defend. For example, just relating to the video behind me, I know that he's got Team Season Richarlison on top. He's got Team Season Mahrez. He's got a very, very good team. And many times, don't let the team think that they're a good player. You might come against a silver player who's actually incredibly good. But this guy had a very good meta team, but he was way too predictable. Way too predictable in the final third. Every time he was playing the 4-2-3-1, I noticed that quite early, and he wanted to get the ball to Richarlison. He lacked creativity in the final third. Every time he was holding the ball in the middle, and he just wanted to play down the middle the whole way, and it was just way too predictable. And when you don't have a backup attack, so you want to play down the middle because that's where you're strongest, but when that doesn't work, what else do you do? What else is in your locker? Not just in terms of skills or anything like that, but what else in terms of how to attack the goalkeeper's area? What other ways can you attack? You can't go down the middle. Have you tried down the sides? See if there's many ways to try and break down their attack. If you can't, if I'm locking down the middle, try and go down the sides. Too predictable, and they're lacking creativity in the final third. The second mistake silver players make is that they're too impatient going forwards. Elite players, when they have the ball, they will keep the ball in your final third and keep knocking and finding a way through. They will hold on to the ball for as long as they possibly can. When I say hold on, not just one person, but keep possession of the ball until they can find a way through. All right? Silver players, you're too impatient. As soon as you get the ball, you're bombing forward. You try and break down the attack. You try to go one way through the middle, or whichever way it is. You try that same route, and you do it very, very quickly. And when that breaks down, your opponent gets the ball back, and then you're away. And then suddenly you're defending again. And then when you get the ball back, it's the same thing again. You're bombing forward, you're rushing forward, you don't know what to do. And then you know, it's way too quick. Sometimes you have to slow down your gameplay. As you can see there, my opponent just done a skill move with Mahrez in the middle of the pitch. And where did that get him? Nothing. He was unopposed. I wasn't closing him down. And he done a skill in an area which wasn't unneeded. He can do the skill. He showed me he can do it. But he's doing it in an area where it has no effect other than just a showboat. Third mistake that silver players make. If you see me, like, we're looking down here, I've just got my phone in my hand, so bear with me. So I've taken some notes as well. So the third mistake that silver players make is that when silver players are losing, our silver players don't change formation throughout this whole game. And I'm not going to tell you the scoreline, and no one told me it's flattering for me, but my opponent lost this game and stayed in the same formation. Not just the same formation, but the same in terms of depth, in terms of defensive style. Nothing changed even when they were losing. There was not one moment in this game where my opponent was winning, and there was not one moment that my opponent changed the way they pressed the ball. If you are losing, you've got to get up in the other half and press the ball. My opponent decided not to change formation, didn't change defensive style. It was way too. They were so stubborn in the ways to get forward. Now I made a mistake here, where I knew, and you can't really hear what I was saying, but I knew that he was trying to go to hit Richarlison. I was speaking to the chat, and I was like, he wants Richarlison so bad, so bad, so bad. I switched off, he got Richarlison, hit a near post shot, and it went in. So fair play to my opponent, hit a near post shot. Now that I know that that's what they want to do, because I know how silver players think, they're going to be like, right, I managed to find a way through. I'm going to keep doing that, going down the middle, because I already scored down the middle. I'm going to go down the middle, and that's it. But my opponent is never winning, and they don't change formation. Fourth mistake silver players make, and I spoke about this already, is that they're doing skills in the wrong area. Skills in the wrong area. When I say in the wrong area, they're doing skills unopposed, as in I'm not pressing the ball, and they're doing like a flip flap, for example, or they're doing a step over in the middle of the pitch, unopposed, where it's not very effective. Other than the fact that you're just showboating, if you want to do a skill, do a ball roll to give yourself a bit more time to think about the pass. I spoke about that in my previous videos in regards to attacking play and how to attack going forwards and things like that, delaying your attack and things like that. Ball rolls, skills as well. I did a video on the most effective skills in FIFA. I did a video on that. But doing a step over when you're unopposed in the middle of the pitch, yes, it looks good. Yes, it gives your opponent, it tells your opponent you can do a skill. But what exactly are you trying to prove? Do the step over and do the flip flap when you're inside, when you're just outside the box. Or when you just receive the ball, you're outside the box, and you know that you're one pass away from taking a shot. That's when you should do the skill. Doing a skill on the halfway line when no one's pressing the ball is pointless, and it's just a waste of time. And your attack is not. It's futile, basically. The fifth mistake that silver players make: if you cannot create any goal scoring opportunities in the final third, switch to a 2-striker formation, 4-1-2-1-2. 4-4-2, 4-4-2 second variation. Change to a 2-striker formation, because what that means is that you got another target man to hit. You got someone else to hit. My opponent is always aiming for Richarlison. I locked off Richarlison. Richarlison didn't get a sniff in the rest of the game, right? You got to get another striker in there to try and help out Richarlison, because if you cannot do skills in the final third, if you don't know how to left stick dribble with one player to try and create an angle to get a shot away, you need a second striker to try and create another scoring opportunity. Your stubbornness, and this is the thing about silver players, I know this is me because I was very stubborn with the way that I played. Going back to my first weekend league, I played in the 4-2-3-1, and I can't remember, looking back, I can't remember changing formations when I was losing. I finished silver 1, so obviously I can't remember what silver 1 was back in FIFA 17. I think it was 11 wins, I think. The sixth mistake that silver players make, and this is something that I spoke about in my previous video in relating to a streamer. He was very new to first FUT Champions, his very first time playing in FUT Champions, and when he came into the chat, I asked him, sorry, how's your weekend league? I ask everybody, any time someone raids me, I always say, how's your weekend league going? Because I'm generally curious. He said he was 0-13. In his first weekend league, he was 0-13. I gave him lots of encouragement. I said, well done for not giving up, but you made a really bad mistake. You were playing too many games. If you are new to the weekend league, all right, I remember I did this as well. I probably played, like, I think back then it was 40 games. I played probably 20 because I had to work on Fridays. I played 20 on Saturday and 20 on Sunday, which was absolutely wrong. And I only got 11 wins out of 40 games. If you are new to the weekend league, for now, try and play maybe 5 or 6 just to start off with and see how you feel afterwards. All right. I know I say play 10 games and then move on and don't play anymore and play the next 10 in the next day. But if you're new to the weekend league, try and play maybe 5 or 6, see how you feel, see how the servers feel, see how you feel. Are you hungry or tired? Are you thirsty? Things like that. If you can push on for 7, then maybe get another 7, get the 7th game in and then take it further. Assess each game after the 5th game. If play 5 games minimum and then see how you feel afterwards, 1 game at a time. The reason why I say I play 10 games because I've got 3 years of experience playing in FUT Champions, so I know that I can go 10 games and then that's it. The 7th mistake that silver players make is you don't take breaks. It could be a mini break. It could be a break where you've played 5 games. Okay, I'm going to stop, get something to eat, get something to drink, talk to a friend. It could be a break where you're under a lot of pressure. It's 1-1, 80th minute. You're under a lot of pressure. Pause the game, take 30 seconds, take a drink, take 30 seconds. Yeah? When the ball goes out, if your opponent pauses it, take a break, take a drink. You've got to take breaks. You've got to take breaks. In football, so many times you see that when there's a break in play, one of the players is running over to the manager and the manager's giving them instructions. Yeah? It's so important to take a break and just to evaluate what's going on in the game or what's going on inside of you to try and win the game. Yeah? You've got to take breaks, albeit that it's after you finish playing 5 games or 6 games, or it's that you've taken a short little 30-second break just to compose yourself. So many times where I'm so desperate to win and I'm live streaming, someone in my chat, most specifically my mods, is saying, right, Don, after this, stop. Right, Don, take a break. All right, pause the game. You need to compose yourself. No tactics or anything like that. They're just telling me you need to compose yourself, Don. The 8th mistake that silver players make is you have unrealistic expectations. And I touched on this in the previous video, that there are a lot of top 100 elite pack openings that you're seeing on FIFA. And it's okay to get attracted by that because you want to have elite packs as well. All right. But you've got to set yourself a realistic expectation because a lot of silver players drop off from FIFA because they're like, well, I can't get elite, so I'm stopping. Set yourself a target that, okay, I'm going to get silver 1 this week because I'm new to FUT Champions and I'm not very good. I don't have a very good team, but I'm a decent player. So I'm going to try and aim for silver 1, and then I'm going to try and hit it more consistently. And then after that, I'm going to push on to try and get gold 3 and so on. Set yourself realistic expectations to stop yourself from not playing the game anymore. To stop yourself from being disappointed. I'm trying to prevent you from being discouraged from playing the game. All right, because you have set yourself an unrealistic expectation. That's probably the first time my opponent actually did a skill in the box in the right time. I read him because I knew a drag back was coming, but yes, the first time he actually did a skill in the box, so that was fair play to him. The 9th mistake that silver players make is game management. When I say game management, here are some other sub key points. 1, the 45th and the 90th minute. There is a little boost in the game where the attacking team has a bit of an advantage. You can be the most aggressive, most possession-based player winning 3-0. If you give your opponent, suddenly, all of a sudden, your opponent did have a shot on target. Suddenly they get the ball back in the 44th and they get a goal just before half-time. Where did this come from? Same thing in the 90th. There is a boost in some reason when half-time or full-time's coming up and the attacking team has a bit of a boost. Keep the ball, game management. Also as well, another sub point, assess your opponent. When I say game management, so for example, you're winning 1-0, it was a very tight game, you scored just from a penalty, keep the ball, change your formation to a formation where you want to see out the game, and then try and keep the ball. Try and shut up shop so that your opponent can't find a way through. If you have to go to a 5-back formation, keep your width very tight, 4 or 3 if you want to, and then try and keep your opponent, try and keep the ball away from your opponent, and if you have to, keep the ball in their half, not in your half because you could possibly lose the ball and the 90th is coming, but try and keep the ball in their half of the pitch. Keep possession of the ball. If you're coming up against an opponent where you're equally matched, my advice would be to keep the ball at your feet. Don't play the game Don't play the game as if you're playing against someone who is not very good at the game. Don't go into a game thinking, right, every single one of my games I'm going to play today, I'm going to be able to run through all of them. Every single FUT Champs game is different, all right? You have to be a defensive player. You've got to be an all-out attacking player. You've got to be a possession player, right? Every game is different, so therefore you have to manage the game differently depending on your opponent, depending on how the servers are. You've got to change the way that you play to manage the game, especially when you are winning and your opponent's trying to break you down. So, for example, your opponent's just constantly attacking you. You 1-0 up and they're constantly attacking you. One thing that happens a lot in my channel is that a lot of my viewers say, Don, game management now. It's game management time. So that means keep the ball. Try and keep possession of the ball. A passes for days. All right. This is another thing. I'm going to add this to the mistakes. A lot of silver players are just making these over the top balls, these unrealistic passes. You know, LBYs over the top. A passes for days. A passes, especially when you're winning. A passes, keep the ball. Nice triangle passes, keeping the ball, recycling the play. When you've got the ball in their final third, keep the ball in their half. Here in this, my opponent's just pretty much given up and he's rushing his goalkeeper out, and I hit him with a finesse. So he's already given up in the game, and the reason why he's acting this way is because he's ran out of ideas. He doesn't know what to do, and this is down to a lack of experience in FUT Champions. And this is why I think he's probably maybe a gold 3, silver 1 player, because the reason why he's rushing out of his goal is because he's ran out of ideas. He doesn't know. He hasn't got another game plan, whether it be a custom tactics game plan or mentally he hasn't got another game plan. He doesn't know what to do. He's still playing with one striker up top, even though it's 8-1 down. It's just a lack of experience and lack of how to manage the game in different scenarios. Let's move on to the final point, and I think this is probably the most important thing I can tell you, and it's the 10th mistake that silver players make. Stop changing your team. When you have lost a game or you've gone on a losing streak, yes, assess your team. Assess your team and think, okay, you're not good enough to be in this team. You're not helping me. I'm going to make one change. I'm going to make one change and I'm going to improve a player because I want this player out and I want to get a 5-star weak foot player in. Those kind of changes, that's fine. Do not overhaul your whole team in the middle of the weekend league. Do not do that. Stop changing your team. Okay? If one weekend you've hit silver 1 and you're like, right, this weekend I'm going to hit silver 2. And then, in this weekend, I'm going to hit silver 1 or gold 3 again. But then you'll go back down to silver 2 and you say, right, I'm changing my whole team. Like, no, that's not going to work. Because you have to now learn how to use that team all over again. You're not facing the same opponent every single time you play every weekend. You're playing a different opponent, so the matchmaking is always going to be different. You're going to come against someone that's different. You have to have a team that's very meta, 5-star weak foot, an agile player. You know, use a formation that's very familiar. Have a backup formation as well. That's the problem that silver players have, is that whenever you lose, you get frustrated and then you say, well, I'm just going to change my whole team now, and the problem is not your team. Unless there's 1 or 2 players that don't suit the meta. For example, if you're playing Harry Kane up top and he's not getting around players, that's Harry Kane's fault because he's not agile. You need to get an agile striker, especially at this stage of FIFA, during TOTS as well. The problem is not you. It's not the player. It could be the player that's the problem, but it's also you could be the problem. It might be something that you need to improve on, as I've touched on in my previous points. But changing your team isn't really going to do that. Changing your team is not going to solve your problems, especially during weekend league. If you're playing during the week, the rivals, and you're not happy with your team, change it, practice that. I put videos on in terms of how you can improve in FIFA. So many how to improve in FIFA and ways that you can improve in friendlies and things like that. There are so many ways that you can improve during the week, but never, ever, 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 ever change your team during the weekend league. So there you have it, boys and girls. That is the 10 mistakes that I believe silver players are making in the weekend league, and I hope these little tips that have helped you and that you can go ahead and rectify this. The reason why I'm sharing this video with you is mainly because, as I said in my video, I used to be a silver player, a consistent silver player, but these mistakes that I've made, I rectified them over the years and I've progressed up the ranks, gold 3, gold 2, gold 1, elite 3, elite 2. So these mistakes that I was making and that now I'm sharing with you, that hopefully you can rectify and push on in the weekend league. So guys, if you did like this video, don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe, and put the bell on so you know exactly when this videos go live. And as well, if you are still watching, come check me out on Twitch, man. I'm live streaming on Twitch right now, so the link to my Twitch is down below in the description. Thank you for checking out this video. I'll see you in the next upload. Peace.
What we do here is go back.